Okay, if you are looking for the exact toolkit around how to change your life sooner rather than later, then this video is going to be so helpful for you because I'm breaking down these 4 really key steps that are going to help you not only let go of the past and all of the negative habits and things that are keeping you stuck where you are, but also like truly take your power back and tap into your true power as a spiritual being, as a conscious creator, so that you can really start to create the life that you were meant to live. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Kara Michelle and I'm here to help you live your truth. So today I was on a call with a client and we were talking about some things going on in her life, and it sparked me with like number 1, and then I was like, okay, I need to like break some things down here for you guys and show up with a training on this because I know she's not alone in feeling this way, and I know so many of my clients have been in this position as well as other people I've talked to, and I used to be in this position. So I want to share the biggest takeaways for you so that you can start making radical changes in your life, okay? So before we get in, if you haven't, please make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so that you are the first to be notified when I put out a new video. With that said, number 1 is to, okay, psych, I'm back. One more other thing before I get started is like, you seriously, if you take this seriously, it could change your life. But if you're like, oh, I don't really want to listen to this, and you're probably, a lot of people are going to see number 1 and they're going to be like, no, no, I don't want to listen, I don't want to do it. Well, then congratulations, you are not going to change your life. So take this seriously, take it to heart, really reflect on it and look at how this might be affecting you. I promise, if you can take these things literally and apply them, man, it's going to be beautiful, okay? So for real, I'm going to get into number 1 now, and that is to take ownership / responsibility for your life, okay? Now, here's the thing. I will be the first to admit that I did not always take ownership for my life, and I didn't always take responsibility. I was one of those people who, I mean, even when some of like my baddest days and like hardest things happened, I was kind of like, oh, you know, this is gonna sound horrible, but I was really like, I don't deserve this, you know, like I'm too good of a person. Why did this happen to me? And like, that's that victim mentality, right? Like, why me? And in hindsight, I'm like, why not me? You know, like, why not? Because there are other really amazing people out in the world too, classifying myself as amazing. But there are a lot of amazing people and nice people out there who have had bad things happen to them. So why do I feel like I'm the exception? That's how our ego mind works, right? And it does keep us in that victim trap. Now, why you want to take ownership and take responsibility? How is that going to change your life? Because here's the thing. If something bad happens to you in your life and you are not able to take responsibility, like you blame other people or you push it to someone else, or like, how could they do this to me? Or like, I didn't deserve this, you know, it's so unfair, anything like that, you're taking no ownership. You're basically saying that life is happening to you, not for you, and you're putting all of the power into other people or other situations. When you take ownership, you're taking your power back for the good and the bad. And that's the thing. If you're pushing it all the way externally, that also means you're telling yourself that good things are all luck. And like, while good things are dependent on other people or having a job for someone else or doing this here or an opportunity that shows up, you're never taking ownership or responsibility for the fact that, no, if you work really hard, or if you follow your passion, or if you try to make a difference, if you live in service, if you're a good person, you will make it happen. If you commit, if you have drive, right? You're never taking any ownership then. So you need to take ownership for the bad in order to take ownership for the good. Let me know in the comments if this makes sense, okay? Be like, I'm ready to take ownership for my life. I'm ready to take responsibility. I'm ready to like take this on and say, you know what? It is up to me. Because here's the thing. Bad things happen all the time. And there's nothing we can do about it, right? Just kidding. I'm not going to quote The Lion King. We get to choose how we respond to life. We get to choose how we react. So yes, there are going to be bad things happening. Do I want you to take all ownership, and do I want you to feel like you're a horrible person? No, definitely not. And I did this as well, where I started to go like, well, like maybe it's horrible karma. Like maybe I was just like the absolute worst person before, and that's why all these shitty things keep happening to me. And it made me feel worse. Like that's not the kind of ownership I want you to take, because then you are just going to guilt yourself, and that's such a low vibrational emotion, right? When we look at the scale here, you don't want to end up in that place of guilt and shame. Now, the thing is though, is like when you take that ownership and just go, okay, well, what role did I play in this? Or how was I a part of this? That allows you to take at least some responsibility for it. And that's where the power lies, right? Because you're now saying, okay, you know what? Maybe someone did something really, really bad to you, really harmful. Instead of totally putting everything on them and taking zero ownership and just being the victim, as I've said, you're going, you know what? Maybe I could have done something different, or maybe next time, if that situation were to arise, I'd speak up for myself. You know, that's how I felt with my sexual assault. Like, I am never in no way victim blaming or taking the blame on for what happened to me, but could I have done things differently that maybe could have helped prevent it? Definitely. And that is where I take some ownership for my responsibility or my part in that role. By taking ownership for the bad things, it allows me to fully commit to the good things and create the successes. Because as long as you're in that victim state of life is happening to me, then you're never going to create the positive things that you want. You're just always going to say, well, I guess if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Like, I guess that's what it is. Instead of being like, you know what, I'm going to make it happen. And this whole mentality shift for myself, even going from the victim to like the empowered mindset, is also what allowed me to build my business and build all my channels and build like my impact and my income. Like all of these things would not have been possible had I continued to just take no responsibility. So it was through my rising up and going, you know what, I'm going to take ownership for everything, and I'm just going to show up and really take that on. I've talked about this point for way too long, but when you do that, it really does change everything, and it allows you to see, this is where the next thing was going to be. Just like a side note, it allows you to see your own standards and what are you settling for. Okay? Because I settled for things for a long time because I didn't take ownership. I didn't believe I had enough power within me. I felt like it was just going to happen or it wasn't, right? But when you start to take that on, then you're also able to look at, you know what? I was settling for these things. I was kind of enabling people to treat me that way. I was allowing them to be rude and to walk all over me or whatever the situation is. Yeah, I enabled it. So now I'm not going to do it anymore because I realize that I have power. And it's like, it is up to me. It is my responsibility to do that, okay? So I want you to comment down below, I'm taking back my power. I've got the power. Okay, now the next part is to create new beliefs. Okay, so step number 1, you're taking ownership. You're going, you know what? I'm gonna just own up. I've got this. And that means I can also start to take a new shift, new empowered stance. Now from there, you need to create the new beliefs that are gonna solidify that and actually push you forward in that direction. Because right now, your current beliefs, if you're like most people in the world, are pretty negative and pretty limited because that's how we've been programmed. And unfortunately, our mind does tend to focus, like, I forget what the statistic is, but like something like 80% of our thoughts are negative or something. When you have over 50,000 thoughts a day, I suck at math, that is a lot of negative thoughts. 40,000. Oh, yes. that would be like 40,000 negative thoughts a day that are keeping you stuck, right? So those thoughts become your beliefs. Your thoughts create the emotions. If you're thinking negative thoughts all the time, it's going to make you feel sad. It's going to make you feel shitty. It's going to make you feel heavy. It's going to make you feel drained, like lacking motivation. Any kind of negative emotion first comes from a negative thought. So when you can create new beliefs and tap into that and start to actually get your mind working for you instead of against you, well, that's going to change everything, because that allows you to tell a new story. And like I said, those thoughts become your action. So when you tell a new story, you act differently, you show up differently. And once again, you stop settling, because you're standing more in your power of like, I believe I deserve more. I feel really confident. I'm telling myself 40,000 positive thoughts a day and like things that are actually keeping me feeling good. And then you move forward from that position, okay? So when you're creating new beliefs, you want to watch my free mindset training down below, because this is going to teach you the exact 3-step process that I teach my clients, and that has absolutely transformed my life and the lives of all of them. And it's powerful, because this is where the work comes in. You cannot create anything. You will never change your life if you don't change your mind first. You have to get your mind working for you. And I know that like when I heard quotes or things about that like years ago, I would have been like, no way. I would have just been like, stop talking to me. If someone told me that, I wouldn't believe it. But that's also just proof of how bad my mindset was. And I was so closed off and living in a box. And I pretty much hated my life at that time too. So it's kind of all goes intertwined there, doesn't it? Now, if you want to actually get to a place where you're enjoying your life, where you're doing things you love, where you're feeling good, where you're like feeling fulfilled and passionate, and you're able to show up each day from a state of alignment and like bliss, and like really show up as your best self, your mind has to be working with you in order to do that, okay? So if you haven't, highly recommend checking out that training. It's linked down below. That is going to help you so much. And leading into that, one of the things that I do talk about, I talk about 3 major mistakes that most people are making, they don't even realize it, that are keeping them totally stuck. And one of those is this one. So this is your environment. And we're going to look at that as like your environment and friends. Okay? I think when people start to go through personal development or spiritual awakenings or whatever you want to call it, it can be very lonely, because you are separating from who was your tribe. Like the people you used to hang out with or you used to vibe with, you're realizing like, well, I don't actually have anything in common with these people anymore, because they're still over here, nothing wrong with it, but like they're still over here, and I'm over here starting to think out of the box, right? I'm starting to go like, what is going on here? Or I'm starting to take ownership and take responsibility and shift my beliefs to think more positively, to get into alignment, right? You start to stand out a little bit, and this is you breaking away from the herd. Now, if you're not picky with your environment and your friends, it can keep you stuck so much longer. And this was, again, something I was talking about with a different client yesterday regarding like her family dynamics as well as her friends. And she just felt almost like trapped there because they were not supporting what she was trying to get to, and it was not conducive to like her mental, physical, emotional, or spiritual health, because she was just like feeling this like caving in of how they were treating her. She didn't feel like it was safe for her to like really start to speak up differently, you know, to change her standards and her boundaries, to talk about the things that she was now becoming more passionate about in her personal growth, because they were still like really over here, right? And I know for me, like this has been the blessing and the curse, I guess, in some ways, It's a blessing because I love being alone and I always have. So I'm just like, sweet. This is the life. This is the best. This is also why I had no problem with quarantine, because I'm just like, I pretty much quarantined for like all of my life, so this is all good. But I'm just kidding. I didn't really. You start to separate from these people because you realize, you know what? Like, there are certain people in my life who, like, God bless them, they're great people. Like, I still have all the love in my heart for them, but spending time with them makes me feel really negative because they're negative, or they're complaining, or they're judging the things that I'm doing, or even if they're not judging, they just don't understand it, and so they're bringing all these questions and these doubts and like, well, how are you gonna do that? Or like, well, I don't know if it's safe for you to do that. They're trying to keep me safe in what they call safe, and like in this box, and it's so uncomfortable for me. And like, I leave their presence just feeling small and feeling worse and feeling like I can't just be myself. Or people who really don't understand what I'm doing at all, and so we don't even talk about it. It's like, I'm not even going to put the energy to share what I do or like what I think or what I learn, because they're so close-minded, like they're not even open to hearing about it, and that's fine. But that's not where I want to spend my energy then. So I've really separated from most of my friends, most of the people I grew up with, most of the people I know, because to me, again, not to say they're bad people at all, but being in that community doesn't help me get to where it is I want to be, doesn't get me to changing my life, creating the business, having the travel, having the different tribe, you know, having that like-minded support and that group of people. So in order to get to where it is you want to be, you're going to have to break out of that present environment, especially if the environment is toxic or limiting or just keeps you feeling small and keeps you not feeling good enough. So it's huge. It's all tied in together, because you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if you're spending time with people who are always saying negative things, always complaining, always making you feel like you're not good enough, or telling you like to play small, play it safe, well, that is going to rub off on you. So it's about breaking free from that place so that you can shine bright, you can really step into your power. And then from there, step number 4, which is a biggie that probably should have been further up, like step number 3 or step number 2, could have been anywhere really, is to heal your traumas. And like, every single one of us has past trauma, whether you think you do or not, you do. Like, spoiler alert, everybody has it. So there is some kind of trauma. This could be as simple as like being a child and being yelled at for not cleaning your room, or not doing well on a test, or like, it doesn't even have to be that, but I mean, I think pretty much everyone has had something like that happen, right? But any kind of experience where, to your child self, you think about this right now as you're watching this video, at what points in your childhood were there times where you felt small, or you felt like you weren't getting the approval that you wanted? And so that can be a trauma. That can become something that then also becomes a pattern. And as you get older, that's like, you're always seeking that approval because you never felt you had it when you were younger, or you have this unworthiness wound. That's like one of the most common ones. I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough. And you don't heal it, you continue to live your life with it, not even realizing it. And then it's like, this is why you don't earn the money you want to earn. This is why you don't have solid relationships or partnerships, and you keep attracting really toxic people to you. This is why you're like settling in a job that you really hate, because you don't feel worthy of the money, of the relationships, of the love, of the career, of the lifestyle. If there's trauma, it's most often going to continue to block you. I mean, it's always going to continue to block you from getting to where it is you want to be. So healing that, doing the work, And this is where, again, checking out that mindset training I've shared, so I can share with you the link down below, so I can share with you the 3-step process and how I help my clients do this, because so many people try to avoid that. They try to avoid it. They're like, I don't want to look at it. I'm just going to put a Band-Aid on it. I'm just going to just try to mask it with some positive thoughts. But if that's still underlying and that's rooted deep within you, and it's also in your energy field, yeah. My writing always gets so much messier by the end of the video. But if it's in your energy field, then it's there with you, you're carrying that stuff. So in order to get into alignment with the life you want to live, you need to release those traumas and release that baggage. So make sure you check out that training down below to get more help with this if you're struggling with it. I really truly hope this video can help you and help you see that when you take that responsibility and you start to tap into your true power and show up, do the work, everything can change, okay? If you want to continue avoiding the work, then you're going to continue living in the cycle and living in the pattern and attracting more of those things to you. So I believe that our purpose here is to continue to learn and evolve and grow. So if you're not learning and evolving and growing, you're going to just stay exactly where you are. And the way the universe then sends you stuff, it's trying to get you to learn and grow. It's trying to get you where you want to be deep down inside. It's trying to help you get there. But if you're not doing the work to learn it and figure it out, then you're going to feel like you're just getting punched. You're just getting hit with another thing. And I truly believe that's a big reason why all of my things happened fairly back to back, with losing my brother, being sexually assaulted, and then having my horrible car accident, because I was I think they were things that I needed to have in order to get to where I am today. And the last two were probably those pushes too of hey, you need to fix these things, you need to fix these wounds, you need to do some work. Maybe not the car accident, but the sexual assault and all the patterns I had of constantly attracting more men like that. It was until I continue, I had to keep doing the work over and over and over again and peeling back those layers and fixing things and rising up. Truly, belief, mindset and energy, aligning that and then taking the action from that place in order to create the life that I have now and in order to break out of those patterns. So make sure you check out that training. If you found this helpful, please, like I said, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And you can check out some of these other videos up here as well, all about mindset. They're going to help you so much with changing your life and getting to that place that you've always wanted to be. So I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.